the RC Genius, and in this video I'm going to be going through one of my most heavily upgraded RC vehicles in my shop. So please hit that like button, please subscribe, share with your friends, and let's get into the video of what is behind this awesome RC car. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to remove the body, and I just want to point out that the body is in very good condition. It really doesn't have many scratches on it, and I really think that this body looks great. It's in good condition. It's actually the second body that I bought for this vehicle. I came with an original one, but the original one, of course, as most RC vehicles do, got beat up. So this one is the second one, and I don't really use this because I don't want to bash it up. So I'm going to set this over to the side so that way we can see what's underneath this RC car. First thing that I did with this vehicle is I upgraded the remote and receiver to a top qualifier 2.4 gigahertz remote and receiver. And the reason for that is so that way I have longer range, and the remote that came with the vehicle actually had the very long extendable antenna on the front of it. And unfortunately, that kind of got in the way of farther range of the vehicle, and also was kind of annoying when it would snap because it was so long, it was very flimsy and kind of weak. So that's why I replaced the remote and receiver. And then I decided I wanted to get some better upgrades on the vehicle. Not necessarily electronics wise, but integrity wise. So the first thing that I'm going to point out are these really cool shocks that I put on here. These are Helion full aluminum shocks. This is my second pair of Helion shocks. The first pair would be on my Gravedigger truck, and I really like the performance of these shocks. They're very good, and the springs are actually Integy chrome red springs, and so the springs is, obviously a big part of why this shock setup is so good. So I'd certainly recommend a shock setup like this one. It's very smooth, and as you can see, it has great rebound both in the front and in the rear. And if you push in the center, it's just very good suspension, very soft, and not too soft that it bottoms out all the time. Next, I've got Traxxas brand full aluminum caster blocks on both sides, and these are in red, of course. And the caster blocks can be found pretty easily anywhere in almost any hobby store and online. They're very easy to find, and they come in various colors. The red obviously was what was going to work in this situation, but they also have green and blue, and I think pink. However, I wanted the red for this vehicle. The next upgrade that I went with this truck is the A-arms, or suspension arms, however you call it. These are Integy full aluminum A-arms. And when I say full aluminum, I mean that there's no plastic in them. They are completely made out of aluminum in the center and on the outside. And as you can see, these ones actually include some mud guards on the bottom. Let me move the camera up here for just a second. There we go. The front ones have these black mud guards on the bottom, and these will basically help keep the truck from bottoming out and ruining these aluminum parts, which are very nice and can also be pricey to repair. So that's why I try to keep these in good condition and as clean as possible. In the rear, we also have A-arms from Integy. However, these ones are a little bit thicker, and they do not have the mud guards on them. And as you can see, they get a little bit scratched up in the rear, but that's kind of just what happens. And it's fine. But these ones also have the variations of shock mounting holes. So you got 4 different heights that you can select from, and that is very nice that they did include that, even though it's an aluminum upgrade. Let me bring the camera back down for you guys. Of course, the rear shocks are the same springs, so those are fine. And then the other aluminum upgrade that I put on this vehicle is some front and rear Integy skid plates, and these ones are definitely a good choice because I've actually had problems breaking the rear skid plate on my vehicles a lot of times, and unfortunately it's a big mess you have to clean up because sometimes it will even snap the transmission away from the chassis, and that can be a big replacement that you have to go through. Now, the last thing I want to cover with this vehicle is the electronics. I did not upgrade to LiPo or brushless. I personally think that the brushed nickel metal hydride power is perfectly fine for my needs. I don't think that it's out of control crazy. I don't think that it's too little, but I certainly think it's just in the middle, and it's perfectly fine for me. I get a lot of comments asking, why don't you do brushless? Why don't you do LiPo? And that's because I think that this power is fine, and honestly, with all these upgrades, I feel any more power, you might start to get more beating on some of those other plastic parts and need to replace more. So I do think that this power that is on here is perfectly fine. The motor is not a Traxxas brand motor. That is the only thing that's not an actual Traxxas original product to this vehicle, and the motor is from Hobbytown USA. It's their brand, which is Radiant, and it's a very inexpensive but good quality motor, and this one's been on here for a couple months now. But other than that, the ESC and the servo are the same. Obviously the receiver is a little bit different because this one does not have the 27 megahertz computer chip in it that has to match with the remote when this truck came to me. It is the original maximum destruction vehicle. It is not a Scully or Craniac or Bigfoot vehicle that I put the Max D body on. It is the original truck. Please give this video a like. Please subscribe. I cannot believe that we are over 600 subscribers so quickly. It was actually almost right after 500 subscribers we hit 600. So 1,000 subscribers is coming up really soon. I hope we can do it before the end of the year. I really think we can. So be sure to share these videos with all your friends and whoever you can share these videos with. And I will see you all next time on the RC Genius.